because you can't be in two places at one time to take care of her needs. Okay, let's say she needs you while you're at wife number three's house.
Okay.
Or wife number four needs you while you're at wife number one's house.
Yes.
And do you ever get them all together in the bed? And who's going to be satisfied then? Because you're really going to come up short.
And the other question is, how do the
You're not gonna
children,
pray with me today.
how do they get along?
Well, again, many women of the Middle East, they don't have a problem with it, and their children, many of them report that they don't have any problems with the children between both relationships. But let me just say this in response to, our good Reverend here. When we deal, he brought the example of King Solomon having 1,000 wives. Again, when we deal with the prophets of Almighty God, see, we're dealing with not ordinary human beings. We're dealing with superhuman human beings. You understand what I'm saying? So what they may have been capable of may not be capable. May not be applicable, to our situation here. And again, we're not dealing with a situation, where you're going to have a man in this time trying to take on 1,000 different women. You see, that's simply, out of the question.
Maybe in his mind, but see, then you have to go back to the spiritual aspect of it. As smart as Solomon was, as many wives and women as he had, he could never occupy the right hand of God.
I'm going to go a little deeper.
That's a whole new issue.
The stipulation is only 4.
There's a reason behind it. It's because the women, and this is what happened in the Bible, the women's idols drew Solomon away from his.
Let's deal with Jacob.
That's a whole new issue in terms of as far as Muslims is concerned, in terms of the moral mistakes of King Solomon, because we tend to look at King Solomon from a different perspective. But that's a whole new subject for a different show. But let me say this here: there are many individuals, in the Islamic world, who are involved in polygamous situations, and they don't report. Many of them do not report having, some of the problems or social issues that you speak of. Many of them have been involved in relationships like that for many years, and for many of them it is gone, pretty much without big problems.
Okay, we got 5 minutes left, so go ahead.
I just want to interject a thought. There are 2 prophets in the Bible, one named Jacob, one named Abraham. Jacob married 2 sisters, contention in the family. The 2 sisters didn't get along. Same with Abraham. He married Sarah, and Sarah gave him her handmaiden Hagar. And the strife was so strong between them because of some rivalry between the children. One child was young, the other child was marking that child. And so Sarah said to her husband, she has to go.
Right.
I am a woman. Okay. I am a strong black woman. And I'm going to tell you again, when you have women, it's just like children. We are emotional just like children. We have needs just like children. And if you put us in the same household, different household, there will be strife. There will not be peace. There may be a facade, but it won't be no peace. Right. When I know that you're with her that night, I'm going to feel just like Leah. I'm going to feel betrayed. I'm going to feel a sense of insecurity. I'm going to be thinking all kind of wicked things.
Right. And I understand.
There will be strife.
And jealousy is a natural part of, the human makeup. That is not to be denied. But again, number one, I'm not advocating that anyone take on 3 or 4 wives. That's not my purpose for being here. I'm simply explaining to the best of my ability the Quranic or Islamic understanding on polygamy and reason why it's practiced in certain situations.
My mother once said, there can only be one queen in the castle.
Absolute. One queen.
Well, okay. Again, it's a remedial situation based upon certain circumstances. Yeah. And I think that, sometimes we in the West, we are too judgmental and two, prejudice against the different practices of people around the world. The one man, one woman thing that's mainly looked at as being the, ultimate or the, only type of relationship, that's not the norm in many different places around the world.
Well, let me say this.
Got 2 minutes
You
left.
can't serve two masters at one time.
And again, it's a remedial situation based upon certain circumstances.
Yeah.
And I think that, sometimes we in the West, we are too judgmental and too prejudiced against the different practices of people around the world. The one man, one woman thing that's mainly looked at as being the, ultimate or the, only type of relationship, that's not the norm in many different places around the world.
Well, let me say this.
Got 2 minutes
You
left.
can't serve two masters at one time.
Absolute, Brother Floyd.
And if you have one woman, then you understand what I'm saying? If you are spread out in more than one place, then you are trying to serve more than one master. Okay? You have to be accountable in 1, 2, 3, or 4 places. And
Yes.
like I said, that's too much for one man to take on realistically.
And that's the reason why the Holy Quran says that a man has only been given one heart. One is best for you if you but knew.
Yes, sir.
So again, the Holy Quran is not commanding any Muslim that he take on more than one wife. It says one wife is best for you, but if you but knew. But in certain situations, it's allowed.
If you but knew.
You know what, we're running low on time, and please, you know what, thank you for coming on Underground
No
Railroad.
problem, brother.
You're always welcome. We got a seat.
Well, I'll be back next week.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Brother Salim.
Thank you, man.
And please finish your comments.
Let me just say, that we have alternative lifestyles,
Thank you.
and we have so much going on in our societies now that it's hard to keep up with the program. We've got men on men, women on women. We're trying to have relationships for convenience sake.
Okay.
We have one-on-one relationships that don't work.
Yes.
Let me just say that whoever you deal with, have compassion and love for that person.
Okay.
Yes.
Finish your comments.
I'd just like to, comment that, this promiscuous society that we live in, people now are frowning at you if you frown upon homosexuality. Well, if it's okay for a man to lay in bed with another man, then why can't a man have a right to be with whoever he wants to or how many that he wants to? That's a contradiction.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have to do it again. Thank
Yes.
you, Mr. Floyd,
Right.
and Assalamu alaikum,
Wa
sir.
alaikum salam.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Half an hour went by so
It's-
fast.
So we could have hour.
I'm a fool for you. I'm a fool for you. Guess I'll always be a fool for you. It's a doggone shame knowing you don't love me. You go on and use me so continuously.